This is where sparks of inspiration fly, and you'll feel ignited from real-life motivation. Through listening to this show, you'll discover your own uniqueness and learn how to transform negative energy into positive energy. In the end, you'll smile from the inside out, feel good about yourself, and produce amazing results. And here's your host, Ignite Coach, #1 best-selling author, autism mom expert, and thought leader, Dr. Ali Griffith.
What's up? What's up? What is up? And welcome to the Dr. Ali Griffith Show. Mindset, meditation, and motivation. You will learn how to shift your mindset, ignite your inner fire, and make positive, bold moves in your life. I am so excited to introduce you to my first podcast of so many more that is ahead. And what I'm excited of letting you guys know all about today is all about me. Who is this Dr. Ali? Well, I'll tell you a little bit and I'll give you a little bit of what you'll get as we move forward with this podcast season. Officially to most, I am Alicia Griffith. And somehow affectionately, well, I would like to say I definitely know where it was birthed from. It was actually birthed from my coach, Miss Lisa Nichols. I became Dr. Ali. So I always say now it's affectionately known as Dr. Ali. And I am that down Brooklyn girl that is birthed from Caribbean parents. My mother and my dad are both from Guyana, which is a beautiful country in South America. I also have been highly impacted by my stepdad or my other dad, and he is from Trinidad, the beautiful island of Trinidad. So you're going to hear this distinct accent that I have. But even though I have these Caribbean roots, which you will hear in some of the many words that I produce throughout this podcast, I was actually born in a small town called Stillwater, Oklahoma. Yes, Stillwater, Oklahoma. That was where my parents went for graduate school. They actually received a scholarship from Guyana, and they came up to do their master's to the United States in Oklahoma. And they had this beautiful, bouncing, lively baby girl in September 6th, 1976. Yes, I'm okay with saying what year. I'm okay with saying the date of when I was born. Because I was actually born on Labor Day, y'all. So my mom always tells me the story that the doctor told her, you will be having labor on Labor Day. It's also the time of the year that you will see me always celebrating my birthday, being that I'm from Brooklyn. In Brooklyn, Labor Day is a big Caribbean experience, is what I would love to say. There's lots of parties and lots of introduction to our different Caribbean islands, and it's just a fun time, which really speaks a lot about me. I love to have fun. I love soca. I love dancing. I just love celebrating life. But it wasn't always like this, y'all. I had a childhood where both of my parents, they separated at a very young age. It was very difficult for my mom. And I saw my mom going through life almost in that state of always having to fight to survive. And as a child, I would remember trying to do everything that I can do so that I could not bring her any additional pain. It's like, you know, when you see your parents are in pain and you want to do anything and everything to just prevent that state of pain. I know for a major part of my life that there was pain. You know, you can feel it. She didn't have to say it, but you can feel her pain. So that began my journey to perfectionism. Yes, I was going to be this perfect child, this perfect girl who was going to go to school and listen to her mom and do everything perfect. And I did it mostly because I wanted to be the source of joy for her. So I sit down and I think about now, how does that apply to my mindset? From a young age, I have been shifting my mindset towards being someone else, being this perfect person, and really trying my best to be the light for my mom. And that began really this mindset work. Now as I sit down and I reflect and I'm talking to you, I now realize that that began the work to where I started creating strategies in my head of what I needed to do to be this perfect child. Fast forward ahead, I had pretty much the same concept for my son, right? Here I am, I'm pregnant. I pretty much did things the way I'm supposed to do. I went to school. I did all my prenatals. And here I am now doing the things, quote unquote, that I think is supposed to be perfect, having a child and expecting him now to be perfect. And now, the roles are reversed. There I was trying to be perfect for my mom, and now here's this child trying to be perfect. Or here I am thinking I'm going to have the perfect child. Well, I was rudely awakened with the fact that he was diagnosed to be on the autism spectrum. And we'll get into a lot of the stories of the details and how I dealt with that situation, or how I really worked through it. But the key, what I really wanted you guys to know just about me, is the fact that there was this place of perfection that was ingrained in me, and maybe not on purpose, but it was a purpose done. And I don't know if many of you guys feel that out there, where you are constantly looking for this place of perfection, and you pretty much want everyone else around you to be perfect and live up to the standards that you think that they should be doing. Fast forward, knowing that my son is not quote unquote perfect. He looked what I thought would be perfect, which means he had his, two eyes were working, nose was working, mouth was working, 10 fingers, 10 toes. But now he's dealing with a different ability, a different way that he was going to have to traverse life. And that began the reality of there was no such thing as perfection. Boom, that hit me straight. Like, if anything else could have hit me in my life, I think that was the one of the things that helped me to realize that I didn't have to be perfect. Neither did I need him to be perfect. And I stopped expecting everyone else around me to be perfect. So as we go through this podcast and as we do some more shows, we're going to talk a little bit more about some strategies I use overcoming some of the obstacles that have shown up in my life. And through me sharing what I've gone through, and through me sharing some of the strategies and tools that I've learned along the way, just realizing that that's just the way my brain was kind of set up. I always see strategy results. I see graphs in my head. I see the reason behind certain things, and then now applying how it is to go through divorces, how it is to go through feeling completely abandoned, right, at certain times, and then how it is now to parent a child that does things so uniquely different that no textbook, no amount of training, no amount of education is ever going to prepare you for. And I'm sure you can use that same comparison to what's going on in your life, whether it's special needs, whether it's, a physical or a health challenge that you're dealing with, whether it's a mental or spiritual challenge that you're going through. Some of the strategies that I'm going to share with you along the way, and just some stories of what I've been through, I know will help you. I know it will help you because it helped me, and it helps many others when I get the opportunity to go and speak in various countries or various platforms, which I'm so extremely grateful for. So in addition to that, another great thing about me, and another thing I learned about me, I should say, was I was a leader from get-go. Like, I was always the leader in the pack. I was always the one that was striking out on my own and doing something that was uniquely different. And then somehow people saying, hey, that looks pretty cool. I'm going to come and follow that too. And I never quite understood what it was that made me a leader. I don't think I was necessarily just born ingrained a leader. I just think my mindset, as I go back to mindset, was that of why not? Like, let's give it a try. And I was curious. And not only was I just curious about ideas, I was curious about actually implementing it. So I would have the idea, then I would do it. I would have the idea, and then you would see me doing it. And yeah, I fell a lot of times. Yes, I made a lot of errors along the way, but I also got a lot of wins through this. And what I began to realize is when I turned around, I would see others doing the same. And I remember specifically when I was in a step class, and I was in my 20s, upper 20s, and I was in a step class at a gym, and I was stepping away, going up. I love step because I told you I like music and I love dance. And my the instructor, I would stop and I would take some water. Whenever I got tired, I would stop and take some water. And he came up to me one day after class and he was like, Allie, every time you stop, other people stop around you. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm just here to step. I'm not here to lead. I'm not here to do anything like that. I'm just here to get on these rises and have a good time. And he was like, no, I want you to take a look at that. Look at what's happening around you, as I get goosebumps as I'm sharing this story, because I want you to understand where that mindset shift towards being a leader really kicked in. When he told me, look around and notice that when I stop, others stop to get water. And when I powered through, others were powering through with me. The same people or different people who may have stopped before were still powering through me. And at that moment, I began to, it was the beginning. It's definitely not the ending, because I definitely needed a few other experiences to really, really embrace my servant leadership, my leadership capabilities. But the fact that others were looking at me as an example, because they felt if she can do it, I can do it. Now, being an example for positive also works for negative. So if I can stop, if I'm going to stop, if I'm going to give up on myself, look around to see who's watching, because others are going to do the same. Boom. And I landed this because I know someone out there just really internalized that part of knowing that you are a leader because you were placed here to lead in your unique gifts. And the minute you stop, the minute you give up on yourself, the minute you tell yourself, I can't, is the moment others around you are impacted with your decision. So as we get off this podcast today and as we move on to listening to the others, I know you're going to slide into your next podcast. Just think about that as your message for today, whether that's the one that's supposed to resonate with you or not. And the last thing I want to share about me and what you're going to learn more as we move forward in the podcast. And I'm excited because we're going to do different types of lessons and stories. And we're going to talk about mindset stuff and then meditation, which is extremely, extremely important to me. I'm going to get to share with you different ways that I use meditation in my life and how it's impacted me, because it's something that's not spoken about much, especially in our community. And then motivation. How does that really get you to actually move? How does it get you to inspire others and make others want to do more? And most importantly, make yourself want to do and achieve more for yourself. So we're going to do a lot of that fun stuff as we move forward to the other podcast shows. But what I wanted to show you about another thing about Dr. Allie, and you're going to learn lots of quirks about me, was that I learned I had the ability to connect. I had the ability to connect with people. And what showed me that was the fact that when I speak, you listen. When I listen, you speak. And as simple as that sounds, it's what made me realize why I connected so well to others. Because I started to realize through my experiences and challenges and growth and wins and losses, is that my voice mattered, and so does yours. And as I began to listen more, and this wasn't something that happened originally. Oh yeah, did I mention I'm a speech pathologist, audiologist? You heard all of that in the intro. But it really made me understand not only the science of speaking and listening, but the art and the humanitarian aspect of why is it that we need to improve our listening, and why is it we have to think twice before we speak, because others are listening, they're tuning in. Like right now, you are tuning in to every single word that I say. Powerful. So I want to speak some more about how I connect. I connect through listening, I connect through speaking, and most importantly, I connect through the heart. My heart space. It's one of my big gifts that I have out there. I have a gigantic heart. And my Zachary was given this same heart. So imagine him being his unique, quirky self and now having this big, gigantic heart. You're going to get to hear some more about that. And you're going to get some opportunities to hear from Zachary himself. This is just the intro, y'all. This is just number 1. But I wanted to get started. And when you listen to this, you're not going to hear perfection. When you listen to this, you're going to hear the beginning of the many more that's ahead of me. When I come back and I listen to this, I'm going to say to myself, oh my gosh, look how much I've grown. But the key to see growth, the key to see where you are actually supposed to be in life, is to get started. And as scary as this was to me, to actually sit down and spend time talking to you guys and, like just really opening up myself to people and creating the Dr. Ali Griffith Show. Do you know how scary that is, to hear all of your name being put in a name or a headliner of a show? I had to seek within myself, and yes, I meditated about this, and yes, I talked to God. I call him God. You can call him whoever you choose, but your higher power. I spoke to my God about this, and I got my yes. Yes. Go out there and do this. Go out there and inspire. So what I ask of you today is to do me a favor. And I definitely want to make sure that you are definitely following this. You are clicked in so you can hear the next one as I share that. Next ones, I'm going to share more about, meditation, meditation that I use. And it's going to be more about the mindset activities that I use towards being a parent of a child with autism. You're going to hear a lot more that's coming ahead of time. But make sure you're following this. Make sure you're tapped in. Make sure you go out there and share this with those that you need to share with. Make sure you leave your comments. Tell me how you feel. Leave a review. Reviews matter, especially when you're now launching a new platform. And then do me a favor. This is one specific favor. I just poured into you. Can you now do me a favor and pour back into me? Take this and share it with 5 other friends and families that you know need to follow this, that you know needs to hear this from a Brooklyn girl who was raised in the Caribbean, came back to New York, and just out here creating what it is for your next best yes. I'm figuring it out along the way, y'all. I don't have all the answers. This is not going to be perfect, because guess what? I took that perfection thing that I was trying to do and threw that out the window and just say, take me as I am. And I'm helping you to do the same. So make sure you follow. Make sure you definitely sign up on my website at dralligriffith.com. This is where I will share some free success tips on how to really expand your life in parenting, in productivity, in passion. I'm just going out there just giving you 15 amazing quick tips that I've been using in my life. So if you want access to that, it's a quick one, there's a longer one. Just go to my website, sign up, and you'll get some more of what it is and the tools and strategies you need to get to your next best selves. Now, as we embrace the year of you, this is Dr. Ali Griffith. Welcome to the Dr. Ali Griffith Show, where we're going to talk about mindset, meditation, and motivation. Stay tuned, and I hope you listen to the next one next.